right, let's go. Good morning, Instagram. Happy Thursday. I'm on my way home right now. So I guess let's get right into it, right? I wanted to touch on today, right, the power of having the mastermind group, right? And I think this is absolutely essential. It's been essential, I think, for any person that really made it. You'll notice, like, everyone that you study has a mastermind group, whether they even are conscious of it or not, right? All the successful people have a mastermind group. And so I really want to talk about, like, 3 components that are on my mind today around the mastermind group. And I'm going to talk about, like, especially when it comes to having a mastermind, right? How can you take, like, the knowledge that you already have, right? Because you already got a ton of knowledge. It's all out there, right? How can you take that knowledge that you already have and start converting them into plans, right? And then how do you convert those plans into definite action, right? Because at the end of the day, right, without action, nothing's gonna get done, right? So I'm gonna talk about, there's this one special ingredient, this one special sauce that's related to the mastermind group that helps you actually, take action on what you got to do, right? And then finally, I'm going to wrap it up, right? Just explaining for me, right, why having a mastermind group was absolutely essential to me even doing what I'm doing now. Okay, so let's get right into it, right? And I'm going to talk about point number 1, right? Talk about getting your knowledge into definite plans, right? I talked a little bit about specialized knowledge and organized planning already in a few other episodes. And yes, they're absolutely essential, right? That you have specialized knowledge and definite plans, right? And I think the mastermind is what helps you, really kind of speak out loud. Okay, yes, maybe you got a ton of general knowledge, but you need to start narrowing it in, right? What is the purpose of having knowledge, right? And many people might think that just because they read a ton of books, because they got good grades in school, that they're smart and that they deserve to earn money, but that's not true, right? Because knowledge isn't even power, right? Knowledge is only potential power, right? It becomes power when it's organized and directed towards a definite end, right? That's when knowledge actually matters. Right, and even having a plan, right? You can have the perfect, let me put this, right? You can have the plan in place, but not follow through with it, right? And it's because you're mixing that special sauce, right? And that special sauce is called accountability, and that comes through having a mastermind group. Right, so when I'm talking about, the first point, right, how do you convert the knowledge that you know into definite plans, right? That's where it becomes important to start masterminding with people, to start finding, like-minded individuals that have, like, the same end goal as you. And it's really important that they actually are in line with the end goal as you, because if you got a few people in your mastermind that aren't there to really help you out with your definite purpose, right, that's going to screw things up. So anyways, like, for me personally, when it came to me finding a mastermind, right, I just found people that 1 had the results I wanted, and 2 were like-minded like me, right, were entrepreneurial like me. And the sad truth is, right, it may not even be your own friends, right? There's this one saying, right? It's like, you'll make more money with strangers than you will with your own friends. And it's just the way that it is, right? You got to find like-minded people, especially online. They may not even be in your local area, right? But we got connected through social media and just, like, everyone's connected now, like, through social media, basically, right? You got to align yourself with like-minded individuals that have the same mindset as you, that have the same purpose as you, right? That's where you start to form your mastermind. And the truth about the mastermind is it only takes 2 minds in the beginning, right? Napoleon Hill even said it himself, right? When 2 minds get together, there is a third invisible mind that is created, right? So it only takes 2 individuals to get together, right? You just got to find one other individual that you can be like, no, you know what? We have the same end goal, right? We're going for the same definite end, right? Why not align with one another and help each other out, right? Let me bounce my plans off one another to just make sure that they're sound. Because, I've had a lot of plans in my life that I was luckily able to confer with my mastermind. Because I think a big part of the reason why most people don't follow through with their plans is because they're guessing, right? It's not like they have a definite end, right? They're guessing. Maybe they're wishing for riches and they want to go for it, but let's face it, right? The world's not like an easy world out there. It's not like it just comes to you just because you come up with an idea. No, you gotta make sure you have sound plans. And I think a big part of the thing is, right, for you to actually follow through with it, you have to have faith in those plans, right? So how do you have faith without having, people that, one, may believe in you more than you even believe in yourself, right? For me, it took, right, really borrowing faith from other people that saw something in me that I couldn't see, right? It was those people that I was like, why do you believe in me so much, right? And then all of a sudden I started to be like, okay, screw it. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do this, see what happens. And next thing you know, all of a sudden, right, things started working out for me. So without the mastermind group, right, I would have never come up with the plan to do my own show, etc., and talk about this type of stuff. So, that was a lot, but that was number one, right? How does the mastermind group, right, how does that really help you take your plans, or take the knowledge that you have and put them into plans, right? I think it's absolutely essential to bounce ideas off your mastermind group. And then number two, right? Number two is this, right? I'm going to talk about that secret formula, right? What's that secret sauce that you need to convert your plans into definite action? And I talked about this a little bit, but at the end of the day, you may know what you got to do. Right? Everyone knows, I got to build a brand on social media, but I see a lot of people not doing it, right? They say, oh yeah, I already know that. I already know this and that, but they're not doing it, right? There's a huge difference between the knowing and the doing gap, right? There's people that say they know it, but they're not doing it, right? And that's what's holding you back, right? You may think that you know it all, but why are you not doing it, right? It's because you don't have accountability partners, right? I'm talking about, people that are going to hold you to your word. And this is absolutely essential, right? The mastermind group, not only is it a group for you to bounce ideas off one another. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, so the mastermind group, right, not only is it for you to bounce ideas off one another, but it's meant so that you actually follow through with what you say you're going to do. And that's the biggest piece for me that took me from knowing what I needed to do and actually doing it, right? It's the accountability partners, right? I actually have, a couple of masterminds that help keep me accountable every day, right? One of the masterminds I'm actually a part of is the 5 a.m. club, right? And, a lot of people, I'm not sure if you know about the 5 a.m. club, right? But it's been one of the greatest habits I ever established or installed into myself, because it helps me get ready for the day, right? Really, be ahead of everything for the day, right? Have some time to myself, right? And I actually had to start an accountability group that held me to my word that I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every weekday, right? And I've been extremely consistent with that, right? And now it's at the point where, Bob Proctor says, right, do the thing until you don't have to do the thing. Now it's just a habit, right? So I'm able to get up at 5 a.m. every day, right? But that was extremely uncomfortable and difficult for me to install that habit, and I wouldn't have gotten it done without accountability partners, okay? And then additionally, right, there's been other things like, doing the lives, right? Building my personal brand that came strictly from accountability partners, right? I've known for the longest time how important it was for me to start building my brand, for me to start, making videos, right? Really saying what I think, right? And a lot of you guys probably know that you got to do that too, right? The world is going digital. It's the people that, right? Social media is your new resume. So, a lot of people are super scared to post. And yeah, I was scared as well, right? But I had accountability partners, one, check up on me, make sure that I'm doing it. And two, right, be there for me when the chaos starts, right? Really, get through that storm, right? So this is absolutely essential, right? Maybe you do got a definite plan. Maybe you know what to do, but why are you not doing it, right? It's because you don't yet have people holding you accountable to it, right? And you got to find people that love you enough that they're going to put your ass in gear, right? There's going to be a lot of people in your life that are going to say that they're there for you, etc., but they're not, pushing you to go further, right? They're like, no, you can stay in your comfort zone because I'm in my comfort zone, right? And that's important for you to start distinguishing, right? Who am I surrounding myself with, right? Am I the smartest person in the rooms that I'm with, or am I getting into rooms with people smarter than me, right? That's huge, right? Surrounding yourself with people that are further along than you, right? Because they're going to help, push you out of your comfort zone. That's something that is just become a part of me at this point, right? Where I'm just naturally surrounding myself with people with results in different areas, right? Because they're pushing me in different ways, right? But I got really blessed, right, learning this at a fairly young age, right? The power of accountability, because all my plans were just plans. They were just ideas, and we all know that having definite plans, no matter how good they are, right? If they just stay as plans, what is that going to do for you? Right? What is that going to do for you? How is that going to help you out in any way? Right? So your plans, right, they got to be put into action, and the mastermind principle really helps you follow through with what you say you're going to do. Okay? And now I'm going to just talk about, why the mastermind principle is so important, right? And I'll share some stories about some other individuals, right? I'm going to even talk about Andrew Carnegie, right? So for those of you who don't know, Andrew Carnegie was the individual that gave Napoleon Hill the idea to write, the laws of achievement. And Andrew Carnegie at the time was the richest man in the world, right? I think it was worth like $100 million. And this was like early 1900s. So imagine how much that is today, right? And Andrew Carnegie's business, right, it was like the steel business. Yet Andrew Carnegie knew nothing about the making and manufacturing of steel. So people would ask him, why do you deserve all the wealth that you've created, right? You don't even know anything about the steel business. And he said, maybe I don't, but I know how to manage people who do, right? I know how to manage people who do. Right, Andrew Carnegie had a mastermind group of 50 individuals that were experts in exactly what they needed to be experts on, right? And they would come to him, tell him everything he needed to know, and his role, right, his main role was to ensure that they all worked in a spirit of perfect harmony, right? And as a matter of fact, Andrew Carnegie, he attributes most of his success to the mastermind principle, right? His ability to get people to work in a spirit of perfect harmony, right? I'm not talking about normal harmony. I'm talking about a spirit of perfect harmony, right? And this was absolutely essential, right? That is how he was able to accumulate like the power, right? That he attributes, right? He said he got power from the mastermind. And I actually wrote down, right? What is power? Power is organized and intelligently directed knowledge, right? Power is organized and intelligently directed knowledge, right? You don't have to have all the knowledge yourself. Your mastermind can know some things that you don't know, and that's a great thing to have, right? People with different experience, different perspectives than you, knowing things that you don't know, right? You need people to look out for your blind sides when you don't know it all yourself. Right? How do I possibly expect to know everything all myself? I'm only 23 years old right now, right? And right, there's no possible chance I would expect myself to figure it out on my own, right? Absolutely, you need a mastermind group. And the same thing is with Henry Ford, right? He didn't even have Henry Ford literally had an 8th grade education. He had an 8th grade education, and within 25 years, he became, once again, one of the most wealthiest individuals in the world. And how did he do it? Right? He had a mastermind group. And there was actually a story in Think and Grow Rich where someone was, kind of coming at Henry Ford's neck, saying he was unintelligent, etc., kind of like, what's that word? Like defamation of character, right? So he took them to court. And during the court, they're asking him a bunch of dumb questions, right? Who was this president? What does this historical date mean, right? Etc. Like all those dumb questions that they expect you to understand in school, right? And Henry Ford, once got fed up with all the lawyers, and he goes, why would I ever need to understand to cram my mind with such useless common knowledge when I have a button on my desk that I can have any person that I need come up to me that's in my mastermind, that works for my company, and give me all the answers that I need. And the court, was taken aback. They realized, that was not the answer of an uneducated man, right? That was the answer of someone who's extremely educated, who's extremely intelligent. Right, so Henry Ford, only had an 8th grade education, yet became one of the richest men in the world because he knew how to organize a mastermind group. Right, it's about, it's about having power. Let's face it, right? That is, with great power, obviously comes great responsibility. It's up to you to use that power in a good way. But the mastermind, absolutely essential for you to actually get things rolling, to get some results rolling. Right? Without the mastermind, I'd be nothing. And the last story that I even want to share is Mahatma Gandhi. Right? Think about him for a moment. Right? He was able to. Mahatma Gandhi was this old man. Right? I'm not sure exactly what his role was, but he was able to, start an entire peaceful revolution against the British Empire. Right? This one old man. And how did he do it? Right? He induced, 200 million people. He got 200 million people to work in a spirit of harmony to revolt peacefully against the British Empire. Right? And if you think, oh, that's nothing, right? That's not even much, right? How does Mahatma Gandhi that great, right? Try getting 2 people to work together in a spirit of perfect harmony, right? You'll see, just how much of a challenge that can really be. Right? He absolutely, utilized the mastermind principle to his advantage. And look, he started an entire revolution against the British Army. That's absolutely huge, right? If that doesn't speak, the volume that having the mastermind can do for you, right, then I don't know what else can. So that was the conversation today, right? We talked about a couple of things with the mastermind principle and just how essential, this really can be. Right? I talked about, how do you get your knowledge, right? The knowledge that you have already, right? I'm sure you already know what to do, right? How do you get that into definite plans, right? It's through the mastermind. And how do you turn those definite plans into action, right? And that's where the accountability comes in, right? It is so essential to have accountability, right? To have people like hold you accountable, to surround yourself with people that are further ahead of you, right? That are living the lifestyle that you want, right? For them to hold you accountable, right? It's a matter of time. If you actually follow through with what you say, that it's going to happen. Right? And then finally, I talked about some stories like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Mahatma Gandhi, who all utilized the mastermind principle, and look at the amount of success that they were able to achieve. Okay, so that's the conversation today. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the power of the mastermind. This is absolutely essential, right? Start today. Finding that 1 or 2 individuals that you can form a mastermind alliance with towards a definite end and see what's going to happen. Right? Napoleon Hill says, if you got a burning desire and you got faith and you multiply that with persistence in the mastermind, you're already halfway towards your goal. Right? So start putting these principles into place in your life, no matter what it is that you want, right? The principles are going to help you out regardless. Okay, so I want to thank you all for watching. I'll stay tuned. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode. Same time, same channel. I'll see you guys all next time. And bye for now.